Aswan has been a major city in Egypt dating back for thousands of years. Originally, this marked Egypt's southern border, making it a hub for trade with Nubia and Africa. It was also a strategic military base, a jumping-off point for war with, well, Nubia in Africa. Aswan is situated right at the first cataract of the Nile, and one thing that makes this area really interesting is there's all these small little islands in the Nile, most notably the Elephantine Island, which is a very famous island there, and then the island that we're going to today, where you'll find the Temple of Philae. With a temple on its own island in the middle of the Nile, the only way to get there is on a boat. So we board a small vessel and we're off. The Temple of Isis is better known as the Temple of Philae because of the island that it used to sit on, but it has some of the most fascinating history of all the temples in Egypt. This island is home to several temples, but the largest is the temple dedicated to the goddess Isis. A large courtyard surrounded by columns marks the entrance. These columns were Roman built, and while the East Colonnade is complete with hieroglyphics, the West Colonnade remains unfinished, with columns devoid of symbols or ornaments. Most of this temple was built relatively recently by Egyptian standards, around 300 to 250 BCE, beginning during the reign of Ptolemy II. Construction stretched into the early Roman period, which means you'll find aspects of both Egyptian and Greco-Roman architecture. This grand temple of Isis remained a pilgrimage site and a place of worship for the cult of Isis long into the beginnings of Christianity. As the Roman Empire embraced Christianity and Constantine outlawed pagan religions, this temple sat just far enough away from the rule of Rome that Isis, goddess of healing, fertility, magic, and death, continued to be worshipped here as late as 550 CE. Throughout the following centuries, however, Christians took over the temple and carefully defaced many of the Egyptian reliefs. This temple also holds another secret. It was here that the last hieroglyphics ever were inscribed, according to legend, on August 24th, 394 CE. And it wasn't long after that that the language was thought to be lost forever. It would be 1,400 years before the discovery of the Rosetta Stone, and the system of writing was once again unlocked. Perhaps one of the most recognizable structures on the island is the Kiosk of Trajan, an unfinished open-air temple that was the subject of many Victorian-era paintings. Just like Abu Simbel to the south, the Temple of Philae was at risk of being lost forever with the building of the Aswan High Dam, so it was moved, stone by stone, 20 meters higher from the island of Philae to a new island called Agilkia in the 1970s. Prior to being moved for 6 months out of every year, the temple was partially submerged underwater. That means when people would visit, they would take a rowboat through the towering columns. The black high water marks are still visible today on the temple itself and the surrounding islands.